Hey, Jonathan here. In this video, we're going to be going over diet. Now, diet's going to play a big role in this challenge. It's going to play a big role in the physical results that you get. Now, I've read that it's going to make up about 80% of the results you get. And through my own trial and error and testing things out with my diet, I've noticed that it makes a huge difference, not only in the way that I feel, but also in the physical results that I'm getting whenever I'm trying to attain certain physical goals. And so, we're going to be talking about diet. Now, with diet, I know there's a lot of opinions out there, and everyone has their own opinion about what they want to put inside their body and kind of their own philosophies with diet. Take what we give you and use the stuff that you think is cool and that you like, and do your own research and do as much research as you can, and then just try different things out because everything's a little bit different. People have their different preferences. But for me and my brother, we try to stay pretty natural. I've gotten to be almost like a hippie these days with my diet, which is kind of funny. But I've noticed some great results, and I've seen other people get some awesome results following these type of things with their diet. Now, some of them may seem kind of extreme, but it's worked out really well for me and my physical results. So I'm just going to kind of show you what our diet looks like. Now, you can see we have a bunch of different things laid out. We have some stuff over here we're going to talk about. But let's just start with basic produce right now. Now, the philosophy that me and my brother follow is, one, we want to avoid any harmful toxins. So avoid any harmful toxins that either are in the food or the way it's processed that damage the cells or keep the cells from functioning properly. Because diet is it's essentially all it is just feeding the cells that it needs to function properly, so that way your body functions properly. And when your body's functioning properly, gaining muscle and losing weight is just a natural thing that will occur. So with our diet, we try to avoid toxins, and then we really want to focus on giving our body the nutrients it needs. It's because two of the main things that cause sickness or dysfunction with the cells is toxins and deficiency of nutrients that it needs to function properly. And so when we're getting produce, we try to go as natural and organic and as locally as possible. Now, the reason why me and my brother eat organic or as local as possible is because we're trying to go, back to the most original, natural way of eating. Kind of like our ancestors did a long time ago, when things grew naturally and they ate it in its natural environment. That's basically what we're trying to get to. Because these days, a lot of companies, to save costs, will throw a bunch of harmful fertilizers, chemicals in them, pesticides and things like this, which one, it adds toxins into the plants, but also because of the way it's grown, you're not getting the right amount of nutrients that you should be getting from the plants. Also, when things are getting shipped across country, they're cutting before it's actually arrived, before it should be eaten, and so you're losing a lot of nutrients in that way too. Because basically, the way plants are grown, you have a seed in the soil, and what you put into the soil and the type of seed you get is really going to determine what kind of produce you're getting. So if you're putting a bunch of harmful chemicals in the fertilizers, or if you're using genetically modified seeds, then you're going to get all that stuff into the plant. And it's all unnatural and has a lot of toxins. It's not natural. And especially when you're putting pesticides on top, you're adding extra chemicals into the plant that actually destroy the cells or harm the cells. And so we try to avoid all that with our diet. I've noticed really amazing things just by doing those small changes. Now, the best thing you can do is actually have your own garden where you control everything, and you get to put the things you want to the soil and use natural ways of growing your stuff. And I've actually seen some really cool videos of people who have taken this and they grow their own produce, and a lot of them are vegans, and they basically just eat what they grow, and man, they look amazing. I'll try to put a link or two below. These people that have their own gardens and they're growing completely vegan, organic, and natural, and some amazing things occur. Alright, so let's just look at some of the things that we like to eat in our diet. I like to pretty much get a wide range of colors, because when it has different colors, it means it probably contains different types of vitamins. So it's good and nutrients. So it's good to, pretty much eat the colors of the rainbow. And to start that off, you can see this is rainbow chard, very nutritious. And usually what I like to do with this, me and my brother, we'll use this for juicing. We start a juice every day, pretty much, regularly in the morning. And amazing, by the way, because you get pretty much all the vegetables that you want, and you can make it really fast. It's really simple, and when you drink it, it goes straight into your body. It's really simple and efficient. Anyway, so we have that. We have some celery. This is great for juicing too. Have some lemons, avocado. Now, this is a great healthy fat, so especially for women who are trying to cut down but you want to keep the curves, this is a great thing to add into your diet, avocados. And honestly, I like to use it as a substitute for meat, so if I'm not trying to eat a lot of meat, I'll throw in a bunch of avocados. Love them. Carrots, of course, these are great. I've been starting throwing some beets. This is pretty good beets too. You know, your basic peppers. I have some jalapenos somewhere, but I've already cut into this. Sweet potato. These are awesome because other than a regular potato, these contain more nutrients. So instead of eating potatoes, I would definitely recommend to switch to sweet potato or something like this. Now, I use this purely for juicing, but this is actually turmeric, and it's just the root. And I've used that, ginger, some garlic, and those are great things to add in. A lot of great nutrients that are good for the body. Of course, kale. Now these is two types. You have dino and the regular flower kale. And this is one of the most nutritious plants you can eat, so definitely you want to eat tons of that. And I like to use it for juices, salads. I use this a ton for salads. You just mix, you chop up a bunch of raw vegetables with some kale. And then what I'll do is I'll top in some extra virgin olive oil, organic of course, and then have a salad. It tastes really good. Anyway, you got a cucumber, and then I always try to go organic with fruits, especially ones with skins like this, like berries and stuff like that. You have cranberries. Now, a great substitute for sugars and things like this, because sugar, especially refined sugar, is one of the things that I avoid or try to avoid at all costs. It's horrible for the immune system, it turns into fat, and it actually acts as an anti-nutrient. So you're taking nutrients out of the body to digest and process refined sugar. So it's something you want to avoid at all costs. And you know, if you're eating out or eating things from boxes or processed foods, it contains a ton of sugars that we don't need. And this is just coconut flakes. You know, raw coconut flakes. Tastes amazing. Pretty sweet stuff. But
let me take a closer look at that.
Yeah. Check this out. This stuff is great. Great sweetener, natural, great for you. And then this isn't really something I would recommend that much, but if you're eating breads or tortillas and stuff like that, sometimes I like to make a tortilla with some raw vegetables. This is actually a raw tortilla that you just cook for a little bit. But I wouldn't really recommend this because I would say you want to go as raw and natural as possible. And this is better than some of the other stuff. And I've been trying to get away, especially from white flour. That's another thing that white flour is, I try to pretty much avoid, except for certain occasions. And because white flour actually acts as an anti-nutrient as well, because it's been heavily processed and all the nutrients that help the body absorb the white flour have been taken out. And so it's really not good for your body. All right. So basically, here's all the produce. I try to eat, most of my diet, I try to consist of natural, raw produce like this. And I don't ever cook it, because when you cook it, you actually take away some of the nutrients. So it's better to eat it, as raw as you can and natural. Now, here's some of the things that I like to use to either cook with or add on top. We talked about the olive oil before. This one's great for salads, putting on top of things, but I wouldn't I wouldn't cook with this, just because it's not really made to be at high temperatures. If you're going to cook with an oil, I'd recommend grapeseed oil. That's a good one. Also, a good one is coconut oil. Get the all-natural coconut oil. This stuff's amazing, by the way. You can put it on your skin. It's great for the skin. And I brought this out here because a lot of people eat salts. If you're going to eat salts, which I usually don't put salt on much of anything because we get so much salt in our diet from other things and sodium. But if you are, stick with basic sea salt and you should be fine. I brought this out here because as an example of if you are going to get things that are in a bottle or canned or packaged, there's one thing you really want to check is the ingredients. Now this one's a really good one. It's gluten-free, no artificial preservatives. It's an amazing hot sauce, by the way. It's produced in Texas. It's really good. But basically, if you look at the ingredients, I don't know if you can see this, but if you notice, all the ingredients it's a really small list, and it's all things you can understand, you know what it is. Can you read that there?
No.
No?
Oh, wait, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there we go. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So if you see that, it's just fresh cucumbers, fresh tomatillos, fresh avocado, peppers, and a blend of fresh herbs and spices. So it's really small, and that's what you want to look for if you're buying things like this, because you know it probably doesn't have a bunch of harmful chemicals and toxins in it. If you see a bunch of chemicals and stuff, you can't even understand, you don't even know what it is, probably shouldn't be eating it. So we got that. Now I've been trying to get away from all dairy products. That's another thing, and I might talk a little bit more later. Actually, I'll talk about it now. Why not? So dairy, me and my brother have been cutting out dairy, and there's a lot of people who love dairy or like to drink milk. But for me, when I cut out dairy, I noticed a huge difference. My allergies went away completely, and I felt a lot better, not as heavy. And I noticed that dairy, for me, was a horrible thing in my diet. And I've read a bunch of different things about it. And basically, what I've read is that milk is supposed to be made for calves, for baby calves, and it's not made for human consumption, or it's not really there for human consumption. It contains proteins that are harder to digest and break down in the human body, and it really doesn't contain a good balance of nutrients that a lot of people say it does, and it's just not as good for you. So I try to avoid dairy. Now, if you like dairy, test some things out. But if you're currently eating dairy and you haven't tried cutting off, cut off of it for a week or two and just see what happens. That's what I recommend. Anyway, but you can see this is Veganese, so it's like a vegan type of mayo, and you can do a lot of different vegan options like this. And the ingredients again are very small. The only thing this contains soy. I try to get away from soy, but if you're really craving some mayo or something like that, just stick with that other option like that. Again, I'm bringing this up because this is just basic peanut butter, but a lot of people will get the stuff with a bunch of hydrogenated oils and things like that, and that's something you want to avoid the hydrogenated processed oils. You want to go with natural oils, and it's very little ingredients. And if you can see, you may not be able to see this, but it just contains peanuts and salt. That's what I like to see with anything that I'm getting. As very few ingredients as possible. But if you're going to go this option, it's better to go as natural as possible. So just making it yourself with actual peanuts. But it's not as convenient. And then you got your basic dried fruits. Now this is it's just straight up raisins, and that's what I like to see. I don't know if this probably isn't organic or anything, but just want to really harp on when you're buying foods and stuff like this, especially packaged, you got to be really careful, and you want to go with things that are, 1 ingredient, 2 ingredients, 3 ingredients. If you do that, you're eliminating a lot of the harmful toxins that are actually preventing a lot of us from losing weight. Once we get rid of all the harmful toxins that are bogging down the cells, and we start giving it nutrients that it needs, you're going to start to see a lot of amazing things. You're going to get a lot more energy. You're going to have, so you're going to feel better, your relationships are going to get better, and you're going to start to lose weight. Just by changing your diet, you're going to lose weight. If you haven't, if you're not already eating really good and you change it and you start eating really well, eating all natural, less processed, then you're going to see some amazing things. Now, if we go over here, this is the juicer that we use, and probably one of the most, biggest things that I've changed in my diet recently. I used to do a lot of shakes. I still do that occasionally too, because I like to mix it up. But juicing every morning has made a huge impact in my productivity. Basically because it's easy, it's fast, and you're getting tons of nutrients at the beginning of the day. And so I know if I get a juice in once a day, that I'm getting, a good amount of nutrients. And basically, this is a slow juicer, the Omega fruit and vegetable juicer. I like it because it's slow, and what I've read is that it doesn't burn as many nutrients because it's the way it's done. It's slower, doesn't heat up as much, so you're getting more nutrients out of it, and it lasts longer. And it's not as loud. It's always really annoying when you have a loud juicer and it's just buzzing.
Demo.
Demo. We don't have the thing now. The two things.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would. I left the 2 trays, but
maybe
here,
2
I'll
glasses?
turn it on. I'll show you.
2 glasses, maybe?
I'll do a quick demo of the juicer, just because it's pretty cool, and let you check it out. You can see it's not too loud. It's fairly quiet, and it's not like a really sharp noise that's really annoying. But basically, you just put it in here. Just breaks it down. Comes with a little thing. It's like I'm doing an ad for a juicer, but you see this, the pulp comes out here, juice goes down here. And something I also like to do with this is so you can then use this if you want for certain things, like I like to throw it on top of salads, stuff like that. Anyway. And that's a great thing too. That's why I like to mix, because you lose some of the fibers and stuff by juicing, but you get a ton of nutrients in a short amount of time. So sometimes I'll do shakes where I just leave the whole vegetable or fruit in a blender and just blend it up and drink it that way too. Another great option. Now, with regards to meats, me and my brother have been trying to slowly cut out a lot of our meat intake, just because of the way a lot of it's produced. It's not very healthy, and then a lot of the meats, after I eat them, I feel very heavy. And just noticing that the more I've cut out, the better I've felt. So now a big thing with cutting out meat is that you're losing protein. So the big thing is you want to replace it with like nuts, things like this. And actually a lot of vegetables contain some pretty good proteins as well. So it's just, finding the right balance there. But if you are going to eat meats, and me and my brother slowly getting to a vegan level where it's mainly, you're not having any meats. Don't know how far I'll get along it, but that's kind of my goal, is to eventually become a vegan, because I've seen a lot of amazing vegans out there. I mean, there's a vegan bodybuilder. He's like 7 years old or something. Or is he even older than that? He's like 80? I don't know. But we'll put a link at the bottom to that too, because it's just amazing. Anyway, though, you want to make sure, if you are going to eat meat, you want to make sure it doesn't have any harmful chemicals in it. So you don't have it pumped full of antibiotics. You don't want it to have growth hormones. You want it to be fed naturally. You don't want it to be caged up and full of all these weird sicknesses. Because that's why they pump it full of antibiotics, because it's sick all the time. And so you really want to eliminate those type of meats out of your diet. One, they're bad for you, and two, you're promoting a lifestyle for animals that's just horrible. If you watch some of the videos, it's pretty bad what they do to some of those animals and keep them all caged up. It's pretty nasty. So, as far as meats, I'd recommend doing that. Avoid the harmful stuff. Try to eat clean, natural meats, and you should be fine. So basically, this is a basic overview of our diet. Now, we just touched on everything. You can go a lot deeper into a lot of this stuff, and I just want to mention this book, because this book's called Never Be Sick Again by Raymond Francis. And this book it pretty much changed my life on diet. It's one of the first books that I read that really changed the way I was thinking about diet. And I'll try to put a link to this below, maybe on Amazon or something, but definitely worth the read. He's pretty intense. He goes pretty far out there in some stuff, but he has a lot of studies and stuff in there, and it's a really good read. Another thing that I'd recommend is a guy named Yuri Elkin. This is another guy that I follow, kind of a big guru that I listen to as far as diet is concerned. And I'll put a link below he has a free raw foods course that kind of goes over how to start a raw foods diet that I think is really good. And then I think he promotes his book at the end of it. It's a good book. I liked it. You should check it out if you want to. But yeah, this is pretty much covers the diet video. But what I want you to do is, because I'm sure everyone, and I'm sure you have a different take on diet, different things that you follow, different results that you've gotten trying different things. So what I'd really like is in the comments below, or in the comments below on the Facebook, to really, put out a bunch of information about diet and experiences you've had. I'm sure you have a lot of good information about diet and things like that. So I definitely would love a lot of response and conversation about this, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I can learn from you and from everyone else. So see you in the next video. Talk soon.